Welcome to the More Than More podcast, where we discuss building meaningful, impactful businesses, careers, and lives through real estate.
Tami Hicks,
Yes, I respond to that.
the OG, my broker,
Yes.
my mentor, my teacher, my Outlook email coordinator. You've been so many things to me over the years. So many things. The only thing you failed to be was you just never taught me how to use wireless internet.
Yeah, that's true.
It was the one thing
I
that you
struggled with that.
You just fought.
I still struggle with it.
I don't want to hear that.
I would like to have a pair of headphones that is wired like this one. I don't like Bluetooth headphones.
I think a lot of people are actually using the wired ones these days.
Yeah, they're going back.
Hey, that has got nothing to do with our
Right.
topic today.
Yeah.
I just feel like I can't sit with you and not bring up the past.
Yeah, because there's a lot of it there.
We've got, 20, how many years together now?
When did you start?
3 would have been when I was
so
hanging out with
23
Roger.
years.
23 years. That's a lifetime.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, hi, welcome. Congratulations.
Thank
You
you.
are the 2025 More Than More award winner.
Thank you. It was a complete surprise.
I was watching you the whole time, but trying not to make too much eye contact. You were about to leave.
I was thinking about leaving.
You were going to leave our awards banquet, and I think that I just would have disqualified you. But instead, someone caught you. Who caught you in the back? Whitney.
Yeah.
She forced you to stay for a while, or did she trick
I
you?
think Bretta and Whitney and Robin were all like texting each other to say, she's thinking about leaving. And I don't know that I really would have, because I kind of wanted to know, who won the signature award. And I mean, the big awards are fun. So.
No, I mean, that'd be a disgrace if if you left.
But if it went too long, I was going to.
This basketball game thing is ridiculous.
It started late too.
Unbelievable. I give up. And there's no way. We can never pick a night that doesn't conflict with somebody and whatever.
Yeah.
You were surprised.
I was very surprised, yes. I had no idea.
I watched your face, but you were far away. You did get somewhat emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was surprised enough to maybe cry a little.
Yeah.
My face was red.
Why does More Than More matter? Why would that make you emotional?
That's a good question. I mean, it's just being recognized for something that I don't know that I don't think of it as much of a big a deal as what I know it is. I don't know if that makes sense.
I think it does. Say it a slightly different way.
It's just something I do, and it is making a big impact, but I don't always realize how big of an impact it's making or how big of a deal other people see it as.
Yeah. That was the perfect kind of recognition to get.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean,
when you're not making a big deal of you.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like to do that. You know that I don't like to make a big deal out of whatever it is I'm doing. And there's so many other people involved that I think that changes it too. Like, it's not just me.
It's become bigger than you.
But yeah.
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 And that's the best kind of thing, I guess.
Yeah.
But it started, it didn't just start with you, but you were the instigator of Overflow.
One of them, yeah. There was 3 of us. There were 3 co-founders, all kind of came at it from a different direction, but all really wanted to start a thrift store and help people that were in need and use those funds in a way that could really change lives. And so we started as the 3 of us and 1 employee. With no idea how big this was going to become. And so
start at the very, very top here. A lot of people have no idea what Overflow is. They just saw you get an award and cry.
Yeah.
So what on earth is Overflow? What does it do? And why does it do it?
Yeah. Overflow Thrift Store is a nonprofit organization that takes secondhand goods and recycles and sells in order to help vulnerable people that are in need. And so We started as a very small store in Ames.
But hold on. You started before that. You started as like a
True.
garage unit.
Yeah.
Or like
No.
the OG.
It was a store. It was technically a storefront in Nevada.
Yeah.
Yes. It was called Leftovers at that time.
Yeah.
And
Why do you skip that part of the story? That's like the before chapter, or?
Yeah, it's kind of the before chapter because it's before the three of us came together and made it what it is, because it wouldn't have happened without the three of us. And so Leftovers, going backwards, was the same thing except just smaller, even smaller.
Oh.
And we didn't even price anything. We just said, pay what you think it's worth. We'll give once a month. We had a sale.
And you were taking stuff out of like houses that were
apartments and houses
people
that
were
people
just
were leaving
abandoning their
stuff
furniture.
behind.
And
Yeah,
like,
and some people were donating some stuff, but
Yeah.
very few. A lot of it was stuff that tenants were leaving behind.
I get why you leave that chapter out. I like that part of the chapter because it represents I think the best stories start with just an organic need or opportunity that arises. And you saw, we had this extra stuff because you guys had a bunch of
Yeah, my husband and I were literally cleaning out an apartment or a house.
Yeah.
And they had left Little Tykes toys and Ugg boots. I still have the Ugg boots. Dishes, furniture. I mean, they left so much stuff behind, and we had to leave it on the curb for the most part because you have to do that as a landlord for 24 hours. And if they don't take it, then you can come remove it or do whatever with it. And so it was always just hard to see that stuff just go to waste. And
so one day you two just go like, let's gather it after the 24 hours.
Yeah, usually.
And then you're saying you opened up the space and it was like, come pay whatever you want.
Yeah, we had a vacant space in one of our buildings in Nevada. And so we just used that space and said, okay, once a month, we will have a sale and we'll advertise it, on Facebook. And I think there was a newspaper then that went out to everybody. And we'll just say, pay what you think it's worth. Try to be honest. All the money is going to go to sponsor kids in Uganda. And we'll start with one and we quickly increased, as you know, to I think 10 by the time we were done with Leftovers, which was about a year and 4 months.
Sorry, 10 what?
10 kids.
Okay.
We sponsored 10 kids by the time we actually opened Overflow in Ames. And so the whole time...
Super humble roots, right?
Yeah, this whole time I kept thinking, like, how can Leftovers be more than just me and Chris, and our connection group, coming together to help us, sometimes. And so I would drive by places in Ames. I would just dream about what it could look like. And so that's when I met a friend of mine introduced me to Mike, who is one of the other co-founders who was thinking about starting a thrift store.
So that's chapter 1. The three of you get together. I remember those meetings in our conference rooms at the front of Century 21, which is, again, another beautiful story to me because we're in the business of selling real estate, but we've got these other passions and interests. Mine at that time was getting these kids sponsored.
Yeah.
Yours was, well, let's find a way to use this extra stuff, but it could be bigger. And then the stars align, you find these people. And this thing has now grown way beyond anything you would have imagined. Right?
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
I
am not the wonder person in the widget, and so
that was others came in, talents.
Yeah, honestly, it was very organic. I feel like God brought the right people at the right time when we needed them, and so we started with one employee. We all, as board members, were involved in the organization, like volunteering, picking stuff up, organizing stuff in the store. So we were very volunteer-centric when we started.
And remind me, the first retail spot was where?
202 South Duff, kitty corner from McDonald's in Ames. So that was the first one.
The one that's still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's still there.
Well, the Nevada space was just you and Chris.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So that was a pretty big step, though, getting that spot. That's a high traffic retail spot.
Yeah. The rent was reasonable. It is retail on Duff, but it's such a big space. and the owners owned it for such a long time that I feel like maybe he was a little low on his
Was that
what
risky?
he could have.
Like stepping into
for
that
sure.
space?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Who signed that lease?
I did.
Okay.
But it was in the name of Overflow.
Okay. Not personally. You did it as
Correct.
a LC or whatever.
Yes.
501c3.
Yeah, yeah.
So that thing goes for several years. And at some point, what happens? You outgrow it?
Yeah. So, we opened that store in 2014. And at about a year later, we actually took over the back part of the store, which was about 3,000 more square feet. So we started with about 6,000 square feet, added 3 more, added a couple of employees in there. And it was actually 2019 where we were just realizing we are getting way more stuff than we can handle in this store. And so what would it look like to have a second store, like a place where we could have all the furniture and this would be house, kind of separated a little bit. And so in 2019, the end of 2019, January of 2020, I think actually, we signed a lease for the store that was just south of Lowe's that we called Furniture and More. So we did furniture and household items there.
It was not labeled Overflow?
It was.
Okay.
It was just Overflow Thrift Store, Furniture and More.
Got it.
So we kind of separating it, thinking that we could put all the furniture there. We can have all the small stuff in the North store.
And then what year do you get this new massive Walmart facility that you guys are in now?
Yeah. So that was actually just a few years ago. So we traded the South store for the East, what is now the East Lincoln Way store, 919 East Lincoln Way. And we traded that in 2024.
Yeah. That thing's unbelievable. I cannot imagine, thinking back to those meetings at the front conference rooms in C21 and your garage in Nevada, that you could ever have imagined a facility.
Right.
How many square feet is that facility?
14,000.
Yeah.
And we bought it. Like, we were able to purchase it through the help of, we did have some donors, and we had a great relationship with one of the banks in Ames, Avela Bank, who did not require us to have a personal guarantee.
That's a big deal.
And that's a huge deal for a nonprofit because you have a board of all volunteers. Nobody should have to personally guarantee a multi-million-dollar loan.
That's a cool story. Those things matter a lot.
Yeah, yeah. And those things wouldn't have happened on our own, in my opinion. I feel like there's a force going on, not just in the universe or whatever, but in the world where people want to see good happen and take care of people who are in need. And so that's really the story behind Overflow, is that we want to use the funds to support organizations that are reaching people who need it. And
and all that's amazing. Like, it's, again, I've watched the story for years and years and years. So where it's at is mind blowing, and who knows what's possible, but incredibly cool. And I love the humble origin story. Just so that even I understand at the most basic level.
Yeah.
How does this thing function? So people are bringing stuff, but how, where's it coming from, the delivery mechanism, and then there's a huge sorting infrastructure, and then there's a retail side, and there's an online side as well.
Yeah.
So this? How does the system work?
Yeah, so people bring us their leftover stuff. They're
like they just bring a truck and just drop it off during
donations.
Drop-off hours?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we take donations the whole time we're open. They bring stuff. We get about 100 donations, 100 to 120 donations per day, and so
of various sizes, sofas down to clothing.
Correct. Could be one box, could be a whole truck full, and so it comes in.
Do you turn anything away?
A few things, like we can't take mattresses. There's a few things like that that we can't take. And so they sort it. And so that process, the sorting process, has really grown. I don't know.
That's
progressed. Yeah. And so we would store a lot of stuff early on in the process because we wanted to have plenty of inventory, like in the winter. So we would store all the winter boots, and so we had a warehouse for a short period of time where we would actually store stuff, go get it, bring it back out. And so since then, in the last 4 years, we've really tried to not store anything. Really, just
what does that mean? You get rid of it, or you just sell it in off season?
Well, we sell it or we get rid of it. And
what does get rid of it mean?
There's a couple different things. So there has been a process of us actually putting it in these big, huge Gaylord boxes is what they're called.
You buy a whole box and it's like a raffle price.
No, we actually put it on a truck and then somebody pays us for it.
But somebody buys the whole box.
Somebody, like another organization, buys 20 boxes.
They don't know what they're getting?
Correct. Yeah. They just buy these big, because they're basically then taking it to other thrift stores who don't get as much stuff as we get.
But they're paying pennies
Correct.
on the dollar.
Yeah. So the biggest thing we do that with is actually clothing. And so about 50% of what we get in the store, clothing-wise, we do not sell.
You wholesale in a way.
We put it in a big Gaylord box.
Yeah.
We actually bale it now. We actually have a baler. It makes these 1,000-pound bales. We put them on a semi-truck about once a month or once every 2 months. And they pay us 20 cents a pound or something like that.
Okay.
And that's how about half of the clothing that comes in goes out that way.
And I imagine to make this thing work and to make because at the end of the day, it's a nonprofit, but you're trying to squeeze as much out of this overflow as you can.
Yeah.
The discernment, to use the word from our meeting before, of what to keep, that's not just willy-nilly. That's a science, right?
It is.
You know what's selling online and what's not. And
and it's really developed over the years.
I bet.
And some of this stuff is really hard to identify too, because you might be looking at one thing and thinking this is a piece of junk, where somebody who has a trained eye or has been, working in this field for a while knows that they saw that thing on eBay for $300.
Yeah.
And so they're going to try
Your team must, over time, I'm thinking like institutional knowledge, you start to gain awareness of what actually is
what's
worth
a collector item. Yeah.
Because a lot of people get rid of stuff that actually might be worth quite a bit.
Yes.
I bet you got some fun stories on that.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so then there's the actual sales portion of this, the large retails, 2 locations, and then online, three locations.
3 locations, yeah. So in November of last year, we actually opened a store in West Ames. It is also 14,000 square feet. So we actually have 3 stores in Ames.
Because why have something small and piddly?
Yeah. Well, and we just realized we actually had been looking
Is that one leased or owned?
Owned.
Wow.
Yeah. So we actually were able to buy that. That was a partnership with Friendship Arc. They actually were in the process of looking for office space. And so there were 2 buildings in West Ames that were being sold together. They bought one, we bought the other. Okay. And so it worked out. I mean, again, not anything I did. We actually turned this down. It came back to us about a month later, and they said, "What about this?" And it just worked.
And
because God is good.
And so I run a business, and so every time you add a bunch of space, that ups the overhead, but it also ups the revenue opportunity because you get more space and more retail. And I imagine there's a point at which too much expansion in one town gets dangerous.
Yeah, we did have a company come in. It's like a national thrift store company who does analyses on,
they do this.
Yeah, they do this. Yeah. And so we actually had them come in and look at Ames, and they actually said Ames could support 7 Overflow thrift stores. And we all was like, oh, maybe that's too many.
It's just one step at a time.
Yeah, maybe just one more.
Okay, so
but we also look at the surrounding areas too, and so we'd been looking at Boone. Boone didn't have the right space, and so West Ames was kind of a good next step, even though we're not all the way to Boone.
On the way to global domination.
Yeah, exactly.
The money. So I saw the charts recently because I came to one of your events, the charts of how, when I say the money, the distribution, right? Like how much is overflowing out of Overflow into a whole bunch of different nonprofit organizations. So first of all, not just how much, but like the growth of that, because every year feels like you're giving away more money, which is the point. And then secondly, maybe just like who those recipients are and because there's a diverse group of nonprofits that you're giving this to.
Yeah.
And is that expanding, or are you deepening with each of those, or how do you select them? A little bit about all that.
Yeah, great questions. So yeah, the donations come in, we sort them, we price them, we put them out on the floor, they sell, people come in, and every month we have a goal of giving a certain percentage away. We determine that each year when we do our budget. And so we have kind of a set amount that we're going to say, okay, we've already said basically at the beginning of the year, we're going to give this much to each of these organizations.
You're making financial commitments in a way to what's
when
flowing
we budget.
out.
Yes. Yeah. Because we can see, okay, this is what we've done. You know, we're going to be able to give at least this much to these organizations. So we're going to do that. And as we end each quarter, then we're looking back to say, okay, we met our goal, we exceeded it, so we should be giving X amount more. So first quarter of this year, we're actually ending up giving about $30,000 more than we had originally budgeted for.
For what period of time?
For the first quarter.
So how much were you giving away then with that 30,000 increase in that quarter?
100 and almost $200,000.
So
$170,000.
Your 26 target
total
is what?
Our budget is $575,000.
Of when you say budget, a budget sounds like expenses, but by budget you mean
we're planning to give away $575,000 to organizations to help them.
And what was it last year? I'm putting you on the spot.
I know, I don't remember that number.
Well, but it's a notable growth, right?
It is, yeah. It was a little less last year because we were opening a new store.
Yeah. So some of the capital went towards that.
So I think it was like 375 or 400. Yeah. We will probably be over 600 by the end of the year because our sales are higher than what we budgeted for, and so we're able to give more away in that point. And so who and how do you pick them? Yeah, so we have over 25 organizations. We started with 3. One was Children's Hope Chest, one was UCI, and one was Life to Life Africa. Those are the 3 organizations that the 3 founders were connected with, and so we really wanted to add more local organizations as well so that we were giving back to the community that we're in. And so we added Wings of Refuge. They help women get out of sex trafficking. Matthew 25 House and Butterfly Freedom House, they help women and men who were incarcerated and getting back on their feet after that. And so all the organizations are ones that we've picked that are helping people who are in vulnerable situations or just in poverty type situations. And so the Well is one of the main organizations we support right now in Ames. They are really focused on helping people wherever they're at, whether it's they can't pay their rent or they just are homeless or there's all sorts of different reasons someone might go to the Well, but their job is to help people have hope and get back on their feet. And so we've helped them come to Ames. They're really a good resource for all the organizations. That's one of the things we've said a lot is that in Ames, these organizations really work well together, whereas in other towns, they haven't seen that as much. I don't know if that makes sense. Like these organizations can help each other accomplish the same goal.
Cross-collaborate, share resources, ideas, and
exactly.
Yeah. That's super cool. I mean, it makes me think what's possible. I'm not a big wonderer, or I can't imagine the future. I don't think that's your gift either, right?
No, and I'm struggling with that quite honestly because we're in a strategic planning phase, and we have a session in May, and one of the things we're tasked with is thinking about what it's going to look like in 10 years, and I couldn't even imagine we would be here. And so it's really hard for me to think about where it's going to be in 10 years.
Well, and you know me, I'm like one step at a time and then it ends up being
on the ground.
It ends up being amazing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's how we've grown. I mean, really one step at a time.
Well, I mean, just full disclosure, we're Orphans of Tessa Children's Hope Chest and
Correct.
One of the recipients.
Yes.
When I say we, I mean like our nonprofit that we have. And so and we were the first. So it's been remarkable to see not just how many kids you sponsor, but additional funding that you guys provide now to what we're doing in Uganda. And it's another example of cross collaboration. I mean, the whole thing's beautiful. And Leftovers was, I love the rename. Leftovers was the original notion, which is like, there's like extra stuff. Let's try liquidate it.
Right.
But Overflow is like out of the overflow of everything that's going on here and that we have. to be able to flow out of that into other people's needs.
And help other people, yeah.
It's cool. I'm just proud of your progress. It's super fun to watch.
Thank you. Yeah.
The context of more than more isn't just about doing good things. It's the notion that real estate can be a vehicle. Yeah. And, we got to make money, we got to pay bills. Correct. And we believe that real estate's a beautiful place to serve people, but it's also a vehicle to create freedom of finances, but also freedom of time and energy and talents to go do other beautiful things. This is a perfect story of that. And so what I'm interested in a little bit is maybe just your thoughts on your real estate career and how that relates to your capacity now. You've been selling real estate for a long time.
Yeah.
This happened halfway through, and it got to build because of some of it's actually directly because of your real estate engagement.
Yeah.
I'm just curious your thoughts on that and more than more and how real estate has played into this. And
yeah, I mean, real estate's just an amazing industry. There's so many different things that you can do through it, not just investing. I mean, that's really where it started for us, but also just the connection that you can have with other people. And so, one of the things that I loved about the building or the first purchase that we made was the fact that I could go to any other real estate company in Ames and talk to them about what Overflow was doing, and they were behind it. And, so we had donors from some of the other organizations, and even though we're competitors in real estate,
that's cool to see.
We can still be behind the same thing in helping our community and helping people. And so that was really fun. That was a fun aspect of just getting outside my comfort zone and talking to, in front of people, to get them behind what Overflow was doing.
Yeah.
So,
no, I mean, you've had a successful real estate career.
Yeah.
I think, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I would say yes.
With a lot of different hats. I just really have a high level of belief that, this industry creates great context for, it opens doors to other spaces that you can go make an impact in the world if you build the business right.
Right. Yeah. And
not everyone does that though. I guess I'm curious. So what was your drive? Did you wake up in the morning and go, I'm going to use real estate as a vehicle? No. But it did open a context and a door. The drive for you was?
Yeah, I think I grew up in a family and with a dad who loved to use everything that could be used to its, final death, whatever.
Ran the car into the ground?
Yes. And absolutely. I mean, he's great in the sense that, if his shoes have a hole, he's going to put duct tape on them. I mean, and so every time I have that in me. And every time we would clean out an apartment, I'd be like, this stuff is just going to waste. Yeah. And somebody could use it and somebody could benefit from this. And how can we make that happen? And so it really wasn't like I am a, one with a two wing. I like to help people. And so there's always a little bit of an aspect of that in me, but this wasn't like my dream to have a thrift store. I like to thrift, but it wasn't something I dreamed about when I was 12.
It is interesting the timing on that, because thrift stores 20 years ago were places that you went if you couldn't afford to buy things. Now, a lot of people thrift, this younger generation, as a function of preference.
Yeah.
Like they actually like to buy recycled stuff and upcycled stuff. And like my kids, most of their clothing is bought from thrift stores by choice.
Yeah.
So your timing was serendipitous or ideal or whatever.
Yeah.
Is a bunch of your customer base shopping there because they have a financial need for something affordable?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And is there a component that are there because they actually enjoy the thrifting process?
Yeah, there is both. And it is really interesting to see that, because thrifters love to thrift and they will actually go to all three of our stores. It's a day. It's like you make a day of thrifting. And so they'll go to all three of our stores. They'll go to Habitat. They'll go to, all the thrift stores that they can get in a day.
Well, I'm glad for you that those people exist. That is not me.
Well, I'll even say I don't usually go to all three in one day. I'll usually go to one. But it is interesting. But there are absolutely people. I mean, that's part of the reason that we really want to keep the 202 South Duff store, because it's in such a strategic location.
It's a
for
billboard.
People. Well, no, not even that. Just people who need
accessibility for the right clients. Yeah.
Yeah. There's, the other two you really have to drive to.
Yeah.
But that one's on Cyride. It's close to kind of a poverty center of Ames.
Walking distance to a lot of
the other facilities or services.
Organizations. Yeah.
And so we really want to keep that one there. And so it's a little bit smaller than the other two. It doesn't have as much furniture. But it's still doing very well.
It's also the OG.
It is the OG,
yeah.
And they do great with what they have and what they do, and people love that store. It has a little bit of a different feel than the other two. It feels a little more mom and pop-ish, but it's still clean, cute, and creative. So,
wrapping up, there's so much more I feel like we could talk about. I guess I'm curious about either like what's next. Is one question. Like, what are you guys working on? It sounds like buying more facilities or moving west, or which is super cool. And start there, and then I'll go one more question.
Okay. Yeah. We're doing a strategic planning in May to kind of determine some of that. I think, opening another store isn't out of the question by any means. I think we would like to be in maybe Boone or one of the other small towns around Ames. And so it's really a function of, what is going to be available. And so we've really, over the last, 12 years is how long it's been. 14 if I'm including leftovers. We've really just taken it one step at a time and walked where, God wanted us to walk. And if an opportunity is going to come before us, then we'll jump on it.
If it does, it'll likely be 14,000 square feet. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Don't know what that number's all about. But.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly what's in the future, but I
resonate with that though. I think huge vision plans sometimes just lead you astray. One step at a time, and when opportunity arises, you jump.
Yeah.
So final thing I want to ask is just I guess how can people help if they want to? But maybe that's not the more interesting question for me. It's advice is the wrong question. What I'm interested in is you've done something remarkable here. You had a great real estate career and leveraged an opportunity to go build something amazing. And so you're the perfect person to win this award this year, because that's what that's about, is more than just more sales, right?
Yeah.
And just thoughts, advice, or insight into that journey that you had for anyone that's hearing the story and going, man, I want to do something cool. I want to do something. I want to make a difference. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, good question. So first I'll go back to you did ask like how people can help. And obviously donating stuff, shopping there, those are all huge helps. But even just telling other people about it, putting, Facebook, liking us on Facebook, liking our posts. We have a great marketing person who makes some good videos, and liking all of that also helps. And so promoting it is super helpful. As far as like advice for how to do this, that's hard. I think what I would say is just find something that you do like. You don't even have to be passionate about it. I don't even think, to start off with, because I think that passion grows in you as you do it. If it's kids, do something with kids. If it's, art, do something with art. Find something that you like and you can do something. There's so many different opportunities. We just started supporting an organization called the Mustard Seed Farm, and they grow vegetables to give to organizations that are helping people in need. And so those are a bunch of people who like to garden. I don't. So I'll support them though. And so if you like to garden, go find something like that you can be a part of. And just do something. Start small. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be super organized. I'm a perfectionist. And so even the leftovers portion of this story was hard because it sure wasn't perfect.
What other way is there?
But yeah,
to
you
start
just had
with 14,000 square foot buildings is an idiotic idea.
Yeah, yeah.
So you start in a hokey garage with a bunch of leftover crap that was in some house that you evicted, and I think that's what makes the story so beautiful. I love what you just said. Do something. Yeah,
just do something. It doesn't have to be earth shattering to start with. Help one person, and it will grow from there.
Well done.
Thank you.
That's super cool.
Yeah. Thanks for the opportunity to talk about it.
Back to real estate, or like what? You're like almost 50-50 at this point, real estate versus, because you're a broker of two offices. You sell real estate, sort of, and you're running this massive nonprofit and rescuing dogs from who knows where. So where do you find time for all this, and what's next?
Yeah, we do go see the dogs on May 1st. And hopefully we'll get to bring one back and get it adopted out. But we do what we do, and we put one foot in front of the other and do what needs to get done.
This is cool. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you for joining us today. For more episodes, resources, and show notes, head to morethanmorepodcast.com.